When I was raised, I was always brought up with the concept that work ethic was everything. And you can be anything that you want to be. And I bought into that hook, line, and sinker.
I grew up in Africa, Ghana. My mom was a Christian, my dad was a Christian. My grandfather was a pastor, and then my grandmother was the pastor's wife. So I always struggled with like depression, and I had like bad panic attacks. I also always felt like very lonely, and I felt like I was just too far away from God.
Both my wife Sue and I, this was not our first marriage. We had been divorced, we had a blended family, and if you looked at our life from the outside looking in, it looked pretty perfect. But you didn't have to get too far or too deep in to recognize, in particular for myself, I was broken.
I was mostly with my grandpa and my grandma because my mom was in the city of Ghana, and I was left with my babysitter. I know she had touched me in like ways that, I was a kid, I shouldn't have been touched like that. And I felt like I couldn't tell anybody. Normally, if stuff like that happens there in Africa, like it's not really talked about, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know how to tell anybody. So I felt like that took a toll on me. And then when I had moved to the city with my mom, the same thing happened to me again. And I tried to tell people, but like the first thing I was told was, they told me to shut up. That was the first thing. And they told me that I was lying. And so I couldn't really tell my mom, because if they wouldn't believe me, then I don't think my mom would believe me. So I think that's what led more to like my depression and loneliness. And I just moved away from God because I just felt like I had nobody. Yeah.
I always had a plan for my life, and I worked my plan. And that concept for me was you work hard, you strive, you move forward, you look for your happiness in who you are, defined by a title or your boss or your wife. And so I spent much of my life trying to achieve and trying to please others and to try to always have the right answer and the right response. And that's where I lived, in that kind of a space. But that gets heavy really quick. And then you start to take on the persona of feeling like you're a victim. I can't control this, they just want more. They want more of me at work. There's more scheduled demands with our kids and raising our family, and you get angry and you get frustrated. And all along, it's about you feeding something that's not true.
I think it was around November of 2020. I just felt so tired of everything. Like I was just fed up. And I remember I was in the shower and I just broke down crying. I was just crying. I was like, I need someone, I need something, because I felt like I didn't have the will to like keep on living. I was praying to God. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm so confused. Like I knew he was real, but I was still confused. Like my faith was really like terrible. And then I just needed to like just go down on my knees. And then when I went down on my knees, I was just crying and crying. But like the atmosphere, like it just felt different. It was like there was another presence felt there. And I realized like the thing I felt, like that presence I felt, that was him. I don't know how to describe it, but I felt born again. Like I just felt brand new.
I think the thing that was a turning point for me, 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, talks to the fact that it's in my weakness that he is glorified. It's when I recognize that the power of the Holy Spirit is available to me and I can accept the gifts of mercy and grace, and that it's not all about me and I don't have to have all the answers. And it was okay to go to God with my life a mess and not where I wanted it to be, and to just spill it out for him. That was so freeing and really began to make me understand that he was working at making me new. The more I was obedient to him, the more I stayed connected to His word, his will was revealed for me. And it just was such a freeing feeling.
I was reading Mark yesterday, actually. It was talking about the crucifixion of Jesus. It was going into details like the things Jesus went through. He was flogged, he was spit on, and, accused, they put thorns on his head. And I'm just like, damn, sorry. I'm like, oh, wow. This is what he went through, for me. And on the cross, he was saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? And it's like, at the end, he said, let your will be done and not mine. And it's like, wow.
I live in a space today that's so much lighter than I used to live in. I'm able to enjoy being in the moment with the person that's in front of me. And I'm not expecting of myself to be able to magically add to that moment or relationship. I'm just able to enjoy people and be there with them and recognize that God has gone before us, he is with us, and he'll follow us. And that's a power that is supernatural.
Even though he knew that I would still do all of these things, that I would mess up, even if I accepted him, he still chose to die on the cross for my sins. He still chose to let his Father's will be done and not his. And it's so amazing to me. It's so great. I never understood what love is, but just reading that, it's like, wow, that's love.